Guten Morgen and willkommen. Ich bin kein Berliner. So at this stage, I'm going to switch in English by respect for some of you who don't speak German. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for being with us this morning. We are going to very much focus on what we mean by the engagement economy, what it means from moving from the subscription economy to the engagement economy. And I need to start with my own confession. For most of my career, for decades, I've been focusing on the next transactions. I've been focusing on the next customer sign-up. I've been focusing on the next deal closing, because I was very much focusing on the acquisition. I was very much focusing on this revenue build-up from getting new customers on board with everything that I was pushing and I was selling as a company. And then I realized that was wrong. That was partially wrong. It's a mistake to only focus on a transaction, because not only the transactions is where the customer journey begins, but if you only focus on the transactions, if you consider your customer as a transactions, basically you forget what's the most important. The most important is to keep your customer engaged, because with time, if a customer lose interest, disengage, this is the silent killer of your revenue. And this is basically the shift that we've been seeing into our economy lately, moving from subscription to engagement. Why is this a shift? Because the cost of acquisitions has risen up. The market is maturing, and let's face it, there's more. I'm trying to move that way so you can also see me. And then there is more customer fatigue. So always acquiring, always looking for the next customers is not what is going to make you and what we're going to make the next champion for the next decade. You need to focus. We need to focus on what we have, and our most valuable assets is our customer base, probably not the next subscribers. We need to work together on how to build engagement, how to build this community, how to build this engagement via one simple word: trust. Trust your brand, trust you as a company, and trust what you can do for your customers. So the shift is happening from winning from acquiring to what I would call winning by mattering. Consistently. Mattering is knowing what really matters for your readers, for your users, for your community, because this is where your next phase of growth is actually lying. That means you need to focus on mattering with your existing customers as every touch point. Yes, it starts with the acquisitions, but through the entire customer journey, over time, at every step of this engagement. This is what I call the shift from the subscription economy to the engagement economy. Don't get me wrong, the subscription economy is on an absolute rise. This market globally is growing from 700 billion today to more than 1.2 trillion in 4 years. So the subscription economy is going to grow by probably close to 70%, and Europe is a strong engine of that. Europe is as the center of this trajectory. So the opportunity that we have in front of us is enormous. Whether you are in publishing, in media, in tech, in e-commerce, this is the way to go. But with that big risk comes. So a big opportunity, comes a big risk. And this opportunity must not be wasted. Why? Because at the same time, the market is moving very fast. The subscription economy is moving very fast. More than 50% of users, only in last years, have canceled at least one subscription. Not because the product was bad, not because the price was bad, not because the competition were stronger, just because of fatigue, just because of those users were not using it anymore. They lost interest, not engaged enough. That's the number one risk that you are facing. The risk is not feeding your pipeline, not feeding your acquisition pipeline. The risk is this silent fatigue, this silent disinterest from your users that are slightly going to move away. But it's a risk that can be overcome easily. You can re-engage with our customers. You can re-engage with all of them to resparkle. So today we are going through the day, and we are going to discuss all together about this engagement economy and how to grasp together this opportunity of a booming economy throughout subscriptions, and we all like subscriptions. We all like predictability. But we need to face that our customers are getting some fatigue and they're overwhelmed with a lot of subscriptions. How do we do that? Well, there is probably three main pillars that is going to help you winning or help you standing from your competitors. Three things that needs to be very much at the heart of the strategy. The first, obviously, is trust. Okay, trust can be a very vague term, but trust is not only about your marketing spending in your brand. Trust needs to be considered as the product. Trust is your product. Beyond your checkout, beyond your software, beyond your UI, the ability to build transparent, reliable connections, reliable engagements is absolutely key. That means that every failed payment, every failed renew, and worst, every blurry or not transparent billing, or not transparent transactions, or not transparent invoice is not a deposit in your trust wallet, is a withdrawal in your trust wallet. So you need to build trust, transparency, and transparency around billing as a brand. People value clarity, consistency. That's where they build trust in what you bring to them. They don't value things that are blurry and can change from one month to the next. So every billing interactions build that trust. Every failed transactions, every failed moment, every wrong invoice can break it. This is the one area when you need to focus a lot. Transparency turns billing into customer loyalty. The second pillar, obviously, is measuring engagement. Engagement is probably your most valuable metric. Easy to say, but it's a change in paradigm. So we've been measuring for years acquisition, conversion rate, MRR, everything that was coming in. But your ability to measure actual engagement is what really matters. Why? Because an engaged customer is a predictable customer. An engaged customer is going to renew. An engaged customer is going to expand, is going to upsell, is going to cross-sell. An engaged customer is going to speak about your brand, is going to advocate for your brand. And we are going to have a more session on that this morning. Studies are showing that only a 5% increase in your retention rate can boost your revenue by 25 to 95%. That's the value of these engagements. That's the value of this metric. So shifting from acquisition metric from acquisition metric to retention metric and be obsessed by that, it's super important. The way you do that is leverage one asset that you have, data. You have data on your existing customers, so you can detect the early signs of these engagements, or you can detect the signs of high engagements and build a specific loyalty program, or build specific churn prevention or actions before it actually happens, before your customers is actually turning away. So the winners in this industry are the ones that are going to spot early the disengagement signals or the engagement signals, those weak signals that are going to make your customer base either stronger or very volatile. And you need to act proactively on that. The third pillar is flexibility. consider flexibility as a loyalty strategy. As I was saying earlier, studies are showing that there is some subscription fatigue, and there could be subscription fatigue comes from disappointment of something that is not clear, that is not stable. So give flexibility to your customer base actually increased loyalty. It's probably something that some time ago we were not thinking as something natural. We wanted to grow, and we all in this same basically boat from your side and our side. We wanted to grow our customer base by having users and customers very sticky. We were trying to retain them by almost avoiding their ability to move away with long-term engagements and fixed contracts, etc. We thought we were safer, but that's not the way to go. Because if you build retention by only blocking your customers, their next occasions to churn, they will take it. Instead, every study shows that when you embed flexibility functionalities, flexibility options in your plans, it works. So yes, more users are going to take this opportunity, maybe to pause the subscriptions or to change the subscriptions. Maybe you will see a immediate decrease on some revenue. But at the same time, 3 out of 4 customers or users that are using a pause of their subscriptions, they come back. Because they value what you're offering, because they value that you trust the value that you give to them, you trust your content, you trust your technology high enough that you know they're going to come back. You don't have to block them, you don't have to retain them, and they will value that a lot. So flexibility doesn't drive churn. It builds long-term engagement. So trust, engagement, and flexibility are actually today the most important topic, the most important things that are differentiating the winning companies from now, from the one that are not going to realizing that, only focusing on acquiring, and in a decade they will wonder why their revenue, wonder why the acquisition and their brand is going to decrease. So it's really working on, your brand visibility, your brand appreciation as a company that can be trusted, offering flexibility, and very focusing on disengagement. You need to build customer community. You don't need to build always more transactions. So what does that mean for your industry? I know the room is not monolithic. Here we have friends from the publishing and media industries. We have friends from the SaaS industry, and we have some of the friends from the e-commerce and payment industries. And I will try to cover quickly what I think it means for all of you, so it matters. And most of that is going to be covered into the breakouts during the day. Publishing. What does that mean, engagement in publishing today? For years, the name of your game was to build acquisition funnel, was to build a bigger audience. We had a discussion last night about that. Let's face it, for years, your audience were your product, your customers were your advertisers. So that's not a inflection point, it's a turning point. But today, the traffic, the incoming traffic, the traffic search that is going to come, and I'm mostly addressing to the digital publisher in the room, the organic and the search traffic coming to your website, coming to your content, is going to decrease by more than 40%. Because people, more and more mass people, are using other source of informations. Yes, they go in social media, they go on ChatGPT, they go on other interface to get some news, to get some content, to get anything they want to see. That creates a risk. That creates a trust. But at the same time, AI does create a big opportunity for increased engagement, increased loyalty, and increased trust with your readers and with your subscribers. Because in this world that is flooded with fake news, deepfake, biased article, biased opinion everywhere on the internet, there's something that is even more looked after every day, is trusted journalism, is true journalism, with well-identified sources. True journalism, beyond the AI blurriness, becomes a premium asset. And I'm sure you know those numbers, but if you don't, I was myself, pleasantly happy to see that. People are more and more willing to pay for those premium content coming from trusted journalism than before. What we used to call the Generation Z, the Gen Z, that are always going all over the place, and they were potentially the one audience that it was difficult for you to grasp. Those Gen Z are becoming adults, and they are basically kind of getting fed up of getting news, content that they cannot trust. The same generations are going back to paying subscriptions, are getting back to paying for this trusted journalism that you can provide to them. They are likely to pay three times more today than the previous generation for content, for trusted content. That's a big opportunity that you want to grasp. So again, it's a representation of. It's not just trying to get new audience and new type of generations. Is to provide exactly what this audience is looking for, which is something solid they can trust, which is not biased. Even more than that, the same generations today represent more than 50% of them have more than one subscriptions. So they already consume. And they really want to buy for consuming and for strong attachments, not only to brand but content they can trust. So build direct relationship with a customer and keep them. Again, that goes with working further, investing further in some technology, on some capacity to do this customer or user segmentations, to know who they are, to know what they care, to know what matters to them. So again, we're back to the subscriptions to the engagement economy and mattering every day. Invest in what your existing customer and user and reader base know, wants, trust, what opinion they want to see, what opinion they don't want to hear, and build on that. This is your biggest chance. So with the AI threat and the traffic dropping from the platform comes a great opportunity to build higher trust and ultimately higher revenue with your readers. I also want to speak with some of you that are in the SaaS industry, tech industry. When customers, at the end of the day, value clarity and predictability. So yes, over the last few years, we've seen a shift and we've seen a lot of debate on usage-based billing versus seat-based billing. Usage-based billing was going to be the next big things, allowing total flexibility. It's almost contradictory to the previous point, but not totally. So usage-based billing was going the golden rule and the big shift to the SaaS and the technology industry. And then reality from economic buyers have hit. I don't know if you've seen the news, and it was kind of not a lot advertised, and we can understand. 2 years ago, a big software vendor called Salesforce switched their model to usage-based as they introduced Agentforce. So all of a sudden, they were advocating for usage-based. The whole thing is going to come usage, comes with AI consumptions, etc. A few months back, they turn back to seat-based billing because they realize that their economic buyers, mainly their CFOs, were very anxious with usage-only billing because that doesn't build predictability. They were scared of saying, high bill of high consumption without control. In a world where predictability is super important, in an economy where every CFO needs to plan ahead, clarity, predictability is becoming absolutely key again. So at Frisbii, yes, we are billing, but we believe that the hybrid model is the key. 25, 75. 75 recurring billing, it means 75% of your price structure comes from seat billing, because this is where the finance buyer, the economic buyer, is going to build some predictability, knowing how much a platform will cost in the next months and in the next years. But add on top of that, yes, this usage billing linked to new features, linked to the actual success of the customers. So it's just that portion that is linear with the success of the customers. And on that, the same economic buyers are happy to pay higher bills when the success is there and usage is blowing. So the right model is hybrid because again, it drives flexibility, it drives trust, and it drives engagement. Something that we are going to cover today. But it's been an ongoing debate in the SaaS industry, and it's been like a jigsaw to understand how to build, how to get the most value of the customer base. But again, reality is about predictability in this industry. And then comes the shift for you that are in e-commerce or in payment industry. Very often we hear that, oh, we are a transactional business. We don't really care and we're not really into the subscription business. But there's no such thing as a transactional business. A transactional business doesn't exist because a customer is not a transaction. If the customer experience at checkout, if the customer experience at finding the right payment methods, if the customer experience at getting the right bill is optimal, this customer is going to come back. This customer is going to keep loyal. This customer is not going to only see himself or itself as a transaction. He will build this confidence that you as an e-commerce vendor, you are providing the smooth, clear, and trustable experience. Because one number that I want to quote at this stage. Last year only, 130 billion were lost at transaction stage, at transaction dropping only in the e-commerce industry. This is absolutely huge. And this is the result of a lot of e-commerce vendors and merchants not paying enough attention at this one point, where the transactions should become a moment of trust. They're good at acquiring, they're good at building the funnel, they're good at advertising and bringing the traffic to the website, but they failed at this moment of transparency, at this moment of payment, providing the right infrastructure and the right payment method. They lost it. And this customer, guess what? They're not going to come back. They'll probably switch to another e-commerce. The cost is 130 billion. So e-commerce by itself, even if you don't have a subscription model, it's not just a transactional business. But then comes a bigger shift into the e-commerce. And let's face it, now we are talking the shift in e-commerce, but this shift is probably going to be affecting or impacting or creating opportunities for more industries in this room. Agentic commerce is it around the corner or is it already happening? We're probably in this turning point. In AI, what is around the corner is probably going to become a reality in the next week. So you're going to wonder, with agentic commerce, what does that mean in terms of loyalty, engagement, trust? Because the buyers, they don't even see my website. They don't even see me. They don't even see my catalog. What happens when it's the agent that makes the selections, that makes the search, that makes the selections, sometimes that makes the negotiations, that try to get the same price? What does that mean in terms of engagement and quality? But you know why? It means everything. It reinforces everything that I've been saying earlier. Because an agent we're only going to get back systematically to the same place, systematically to the same e-commerce. We'll automatically transact with the same platform when the data is clear. The checkout is smooth, with low frictions, when the price is also super set and super clear. I'm not saying an agent is lazy, but an agent is only going to duplicate what the human has been doing before. So from, again, a threat coming from the AI, from the agentic AI, that can be turned in the biggest loyalty and the biggest recurring revenue motion ever. It's not obviously too late. We're just at the beginning, as I said, with the beginning. Maybe we'll say this market is mature in a year from now when we'll meet again in Berlin or someone else. But with agentic commerce, where the agents are choosing and buying, the winners, the brands that are going to make the most, are the ones that are building this trust with human first. And human behavior into this website is going to drive the agent behavior on the second place. So a robust infrastructure, a clarity in data, a clarity in pricing, and a smooth checkout is going to make you winners in the e-commerce industry. It's not a threat. It's yet another opportunity. And there's more industries that we'll have covered, but today we wanted to focus on those three because that echoes again what we are going to discuss today. Everything that I said today, this is what Frisbii was built for, and this is what Frisbii is building for you. Frisbii is much beyond than a recurring billing platform, much beyond than the subscription management or the paying platform. We are your recurring revenue platform because we can help you design the pricing model to accelerate your growth, to accelerate this loyalty by flexibility. We can help you design this framework, and we're going to discuss that in a moment with our customer Nordics Film, is knowing the early sign, having this data platform or having these data capabilities, or this data, you have the data, having these capabilities to use this data to work on knowing your customer's engagement or knowing your customer weak signals of disengagement before they become a churn. So here you have another opportunity to re-engage and to re-sparkle a customer that is silently disengaged and silently stop using your solution, your product, or read your content. So we're here at Frisbii to help you turn your revenue infrastructure in a competitive advantage, from a customer front end to a backend system to allow you knowing your customers and work on this higher engagement, and to get the most and to win into this engagement economy. So this is where we are today, to reflect on that. Think of this: somewhere in your customer base, there is, I hope there is only one, but there is a subscriber, there is one reader, there is one user that is silently already disengaged, that is silently already not going onto the website or not using it, that is lost because a lot of different solutions is available for him or for her. But it's not too late. So this is your one opportunity to re-engage, and this is this one opportunity basically to put this strong statement and to go with this shift. The future belongs to brands, to your brands, that can build communities and that can build relationship. Talking of communities and relationship, this is why we are here today. So we are very happy to continue the discussions, because at Frisbii, this is our pledge to build a strong community of users and a strong relationship. So I hope we're going to have some valuable discussion for you today to make you think and to make you act, to grasp this fantastic opportunity that I've shown earlier on, a market that is moving 70% in the next 4 years. On that, thank you very much, and have a very good day with us today.